Good morning, folks. Happy to see you again. I stopped by the, which I try and do once a year, cemetery. My father, my mother, Arthur and Marilyn, my grandmother, Verna, which recently I found out her name was Veronica. Never knew that while she was alive. I think that's a lovely name, Veronica. But I always knew her by Verna. Veronica goes back to the last few days of the Lord being here on the earth. If I remember right, that was the lady that gave or wiped the face of the Lord while he was carrying the cross. Well, I stopped by the office where I used to work and talked to the lady there, Nancy. So I thought, and I used to always I would come out here to the mausoleum. And, well, now they have a lock on the door, numerical lock. There's no one in here I know, but the side door was unlocked. There's a couple of people that always have grabbed my heart. There's a couple that died about 14 years ago now. They were married about the time my wife and I were married, Catherine. Being so young, and they died within months of each other. So, I don't know. This is someplace I come and think and kind of just wander around. My grandfather bought a plot out there in the yard, and my dad did, and he paid on time on it. It was like $10 a month. I don't know how much it cost total. I remember when my mom passed away 10 years ago, they actually still had the records, so I looked into them. I think I took pictures of them. I'm not sure. But I seen how he actually paid on time on the 3 plots for his mom, my mother, and himself. I just walk around in here. I mean, it's people's lives, other than pictures. You can't really totally, you don't understand everything. Far from it. You can't really understand, but you can think about things, and you can envision how their lives were. Where there are pictures of people that, they traveled. Or, as a matter of fact, this is the couple here. They just remind me so much of myself and my wife. They were wed in '84, and my wife and I were wed in the 78, I believe. So, I mean, just the wonderful pictures that you see. There's let's see. There's a lady over here. And I've been coming here for years. I think she passed away from, I think it was breast cancer. You wonder why I have lived as long as I have, and yet sometimes people don't live as long. Sometimes it's just a place to think. Being it's always quiet in here, it's always very cool, and it just has that sense of beginning and end. Maybe some people would say more the ending of it, life. And it shouldn't be a downer. I think it should be, and I even talk to the people sometimes, Some people talk to themselves. I tend to talk to people that are not here. You know, whether I'm just curious, I don't know. There's a couple there. And what's nice is when there are pictures. Some cemeteries have more, especially when they're outside. Depends on how long they'll last, you know, how long the pictures last. Being out in the weather. You know, there was a couple here where, oh yeah, and I've seen them, and it's just like, look at him holding that camera, you know, her of the conch shell. These people traveled, I'm sure, you know, and you can see, you know, people that come together from different races, religions, ethnic backgrounds. I'm not the most articulate in the English language, so you know, sometimes I understand the different divisions of people around the world, and that's probably about the best I do. Here's a good one. You know, I had a yellow Volkswagen in high school. She must have liked Volkswagens. That's for sure. I mean, either that or she likes Volkswagen toys. I'm not sure. It's just interesting, the people, you know. I can't remember all the stuff I've done in my life. I got some highlights in my head. Oh, kind of looks like Tom Bosley from Happy Days. You know, it's, and how long will these pictures be here? You know, as long as the building stands. It's a little rough around the edges, but that's what it is. You know, it's made out of brick, but, you know, some spots are, you know, but it's been here for quite some time. It's actually in Osceola, Indiana. My father-in-law is buried in another space out here in the yard. I usually stop by and see him. Sheridan was his name. His wife, my mother's mom, yeah, she was cremated, so my brother-in-law has the ashes. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to be how because it's kind of dim in here. But it's just so interesting of the lives and the, you know, how many people have gone before, how many people will come after, and how many people are here now, you know, on the earth. And it's just seeing a lot of the older names that you don't see today, which I find are, you know, first names. Last names are last names, but first names, you know, it's interesting. And then you have to look at how many of these places are there in a given state, a given country, and the world in general. I try and get out here once a year, if all possible. And a lot of times for the last few years, since COVID, they've had the door locked. And I thought I'd try a side door, and it was unlocked. You know, I mean, it's almost like visiting friends. You know, it's not morbid. There is morbidity in things, but it's not morbid to me. It's just, you know, obviously, if you have a spot here, you probably, it's not cheap. You know, the next is out in the grounds, and the next is just in an urn. My father and mother were both cremated. When my grandmother passed away in '69, it was not so popular. I think natural, you know, is much better. Don't put all the chemicals in a body. You know, it's dust to dust, ashes to ashes. That's the way I would think of it, you know. Whoops. You know, we're all part of the earth. The earth is part of the solar system, and so on. And depending on what you believe, are we just something that just evolved, or are we something that is in the design from a creator? Well, just thought I'd stop. I was surprised to get in here. I just thought I'd stop in and look around. Sometimes it's almost like seeing old friends, you know, and you see new people in here that have kind of gotten a spot in history. So, didn't want to get too long. Yeah, I know my attention span's pretty short. And I appreciate you watching the video and coming along here. I didn't put my mom and dad, that was outside, and I didn't even think of making this video, you know. And until I came in here and I go, well, oh, hey, what, you know. So, that's pretty cool. Once in a while you see somebody on a bike, you know, in a photo. You know, once in a while, somebody, you know, it'll be up there for a couple of years until the tape falls off or something. Well, thank you for stopping by, and shout out to all the motorcycle scene dudes, you know, Big Ed, Terry, Slick, and the many I watched for information and just general excitement or relaxation. So peace, catch you guys later, stay safe, keep the stick on the ice, and until next time, catch you guys later.